Everybody, we know right down the street, sitting in our coat. Ain't nobody to sound the street. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. Bum, bum, bum. Another one bites the dust. And another one's gone. Another one's gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, Daniel Black is back. Daniel Black is here, sweetie.
Okay, hey, tell him I said hello.
Bonjour, Daniel. NanaBOOZHOO says hello. And Brandy Marie is here. Bonjour, Brandy. And we Sydney. Bonjour. The BOOZHOO crew is filing in. It must be that time. It must be time to get out of our minds. Get up and get your intro song here. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, just cute. Little NanaBOOZHOO. Okay, hey, BOOZHOO. And welcome back to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha, over here, looking just cute.
Hey.
The star of the show, NanaBOOZHOO. Say hello, sweetheart.
Bonjour, everybody.
And over here we've got Michael Lyons. Say hello, Ikadon BOOZHOO, Michael Lyons.
Hello, everyone.
And my name is Natasha. Natasha Nindisha Nakas. Natasha is my name. And having kind of a weird morning. Not sure how I want to do the show today. What do you think, sweetie?
I don't know. I didn't know if we should pre-tape something and talk about it, see if it's worth,
Here's the deal. So, I read the news yesterday. Another friend of ours from childhood passed away. Old Terry Oslin started his journey. And it's one of those things, I don't know, maybe some of you guys in the BOOZHOO crew can understand this. When somebody from your childhood dies, it's a weird, you tear up. And I hadn't seen Terry in 20 years, probably. I mean, it gets weird. It gets complicated. You grow up with somebody, and they were there for everything. When you get old, your childhood starts to feel like a dream. You go, did that really happen? And you want to call your friends from the old days and say, hey, remember that time back in the good old days when we did this crazy? Am I remembering that right? And they go, yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. We were just kids then, And there's no reason why you stop being friends. But somewhere along the line, in our early 20s, we fell apart. We didn't see each other anymore. No fight. But we had a circle of friends. I knew Terry before kindergarten. I met Terry at the laundromat in LaPorte. And Terry was, how can I say this in a good way? When Terry was a little guy, he had braces on his legs. And so he couldn't run very fast. It was way back in the days. Like, I don't know why he had braces on his legs. When you're little, they said, oh, he was growing too fast. is what they told us. I don't know if he had polio or what that was. But Terry was the kid in our class who was overweight, and his legs didn't work so hot, so he couldn't bend his knees very well. And he was kind of like, I remember when we went to a camp together. We went to a summer camp, and he got the nickname, I forget what it was now. It was like Macaulay or McCullen or McCullough. There was a movie back then called The Bad News Bears. It was about this baseball team. And the catcher was a fat kid. And all the kids at the summer camp started calling Terry by that name because he looked just like that kid. You know, baseball cap, chubby cheeks. And Terry loved sports. Loved sports. Playing them, watching them. But he was always the slowest kid because he couldn't run because of his legs. And he was chubby. And so, like, he wanted to play football. And he went up for the football team, but he couldn't be in the stance very well because he couldn't bend his knees. And I used to play with him a lot. You know, in basketball. I would always want to try to guard Terry because I knew, you know, he'd be easier to guard. You know. But he was my buddy, you know. I knew him since I was 5 years old. I watched him grow up. He watched me grow up. We went to school every day for 12, 13 years. You know, went to summer camp to learn how to be school patrols. And now I'm sad. And the weird thing is, you know, it was likely that we wouldn't have seen each other ever again anyway. I don't even know where he was living when he died. He might have been living just down the road from here. For some reason, our circle of friends, we went to school together, we were super tight. And then we grew up. I know he had a baby girl. Baby girl. That baby's probably 30 now. So I don't know. I didn't know if I didn't want to do a show. I didn't think I wanted to do a show about this. You know, our word of the day isn't death, you know. You know, I actually thought if I started the show today, sweetie, that we'd be less likely to get all sad. But look at this, I just jumped right into the deep end of the pool. Out on the road today, saw a deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. Little voice inside my head said, don't look back, you can never look back. So, I don't know. I read the news. That's what Facebook's good for now. You get the news from old high school friends. Hey, by the way, Terry died. And right away, the Queen song came in my head. Do-do-do-do-do. Another one bites the dust. You get old enough, and then you start a list. You know, well, you know, let's see who died. There's, you know, Lenny and Randy and Ricky, Terry. You know, I have snapshots in my mind. when we were all in the same place at the same time. I can picture all of us standing around a fire in the gullies, laughing, drinking. Terry was one of these kids who, he took a lot of crap. Everybody was his friend, but also everybody had to tease him about something, and because he was so shifty. I remember one time we were playing baseball at his house, and his mom, made us come in for a break for cookies and Kool-Aid. And I threw a little piece of cookie in his Kool-Aid. And he took a sip. I went, "Hey, Terry, that's a noogie I just spit in your Kool-Aid." And he goes, "What?" And he ran outside and he puked it up. He actually vomited at the thought of it. Went, "No, it's just a cookie crumb." For crying out loud. And he would never take stuff like that. Nowadays, I think people would say, "Oh, I was bullied by my friends." It's like, yeah. When we got older, Terry was the tallest one in our crew. And he was the first guy to get chest hair. And so we were like, we had to go up to, we were going to try to buy beer. And you had to be 19 back in the day before you could buy beer. And so we were like 16, 17, driving around. And we go, okay. And we had to basically bully him into trying, and succeeding, by the way, of buying beer. We were telling him, "Hey, Terry, don't worry about it. They're never going to suspect you," because he looked older. And I remember unbuttoning his shirt buttons. Because, "What are you doing?" No, let him see your hairy chest. Go in there, act totally casual. You don't look like us. Because the rest of his friends are just obvious partiers and, weirdos. But Terry had like a nice straight lace look, He was one of the first of us to get a real job in the mall, He was the kid who would let you cheat off him because he did his own homework. But we would just bully him into buying beer. And he didn't want to do it. He was terrified. Like, "Oh, just do it. Try it. So he goes in there, gets a 12-pack, walks out all cool. And we're like cheering him. "Yeah, Terry, you did it." And just then, before he gets in the car, he hears a car honk. And he goes, "What was that? Is that my youth leader?" He thought it was his church youth leader. I just caught him buying beer. It's like, "No, get in the car. We got to get out of here." But he was, he's so riddled with guilt. "Is that my pastor?" And he was that sort of unwilling participant in all our parties. I mean, he wanted to be with us, but he was always scared. And we just kind of, make him come along. And it was probably not easy being Terry. We all loved him, but, he wasn't the cool kid. He made the rest of us feel like cool kids. He was the kid. I don't know. There's a lot of movies in the 80s where there's always like the butt of the jokes was the fat kid from Bad News Bears. Terry was sort of the he wasn't the leader of our group. He was just there. He could take a joke. So I don't know. I'm not sad because I won't see him again. Because I could have seen him. I didn't make the effort. I don't know why it's like this, but it just makes you realize there's no guarantees. The clock is ticking. Yesterday it was Terry. Who's next? Anyway, Terry, wherever you are, thanks for the memories. Thanks for letting me cheat off you in accounting, even though I got caught. Thanks for being there for everything. I don't know. Da 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 da. Gazibby geese, a gonna gay, geese are good. Floor washing day. It's the day to wash the floors. Saturday. Gazibby geese, a gonna gay, geese are good. And, let's see, do we have a gibberish cartoon? Hey, look at that! Mino Giga Shape. Good morning. Mino Giga Shape, sweetie.
Mino Giga Shape, honey. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know. It's just... I know I've just totally destroyed the comedic ability of the show. How do you just shift gears now? All right. Well, anyway, enough talk about death. How's everybody feeling?
We could play a song.
Yeah, but it's a sad song. Kind of feel like I should, was I going to tell a story or something today?
Yeah, you were going to tell the story of John Dunbar.
Okay. I'm not promising this is going to go anywhere. So, BOOZHOO, Mino Giga Shape. Good morning. Today is the Ojibwe phrase of the day. Mino Giga Shape. Good morning. And it is a good morning. It's a Saturday. And this is a gibberish cartoon by Michael Lyons. If you'd like to order a gibberish, click the link to Amazon.com. But I would like to tell a story today. On this beautiful good morning, this Mino Giga Shape. Sometimes Natasha, NANABOOZHOO and I, back in the good old days before the pandemic, we would go to schools and meet with the kids and talk about Ojibwe language and culture. And, every once in a while, the topic of Indian names might come up. And I remember this one time, a little kid comes up and he's like, "Hey, what's my Indian name?" And I go, "I don't know. I don't even know your real name." And so we started talking about what is this Indian name? A lot of people hear the term Indian name. Oh, my name's Natasha, but my Indian name is whatever, And so an Indian name is basically when a person kind of decides to go native, when you kind of want to identify with your Indian heritage, learn the language, follow the red road, you start practicing prayer in a traditional Anishinaabe way. Sometimes people will ask someone to give them an Indian name. It might be somebody like an auntie or a grandma or someone. Usually it's somebody who puts on sweat lodges or, is kind of deep into the Madawiwin, into the Indian way. And so let's say you're getting to that age and you kind of feel like you want to get in touch with that identity. Say you're 12 or something. Give some tobacco to an elder. It doesn't have to even be someone who gives names necessarily, because they may know someone who's more appropriate. But you would give tobacco to someone and say, I'm wondering if you can help me get a name. And what it is, there's a ceremony where somebody has a dream or a vision to give a name to somebody. And that name is usually, it's a recognition of something in the spirit world. And there's a lot of different ways, different practices of this. But, and there's a lot of, a million different ways to talk about this. But today, I'm going to tell the story of how John Dunbar got his Indian name. You see, back in the days of their grandfathers, there was a movie called Dances with Wolves, starring Kevin Costner and a bunch of Indian people nobody knew. And it should have been called how Kevin Costner got his Indian name. That too. But how John Dunbar got his Indian name. Because it's a story of a man, a European man or whatever, white man, who was in the U.S. government army. He was fighting other white guys. Something to do with history I don't really understand. And he thought he was going to die. The movie opens up with him in a medical tent. And he looks to his right, and there's a guy dying. He looks to his left. Oh, there's another guy dying. And, things are not looking good. And he goes, you know what? If I'm going to die, I'm going to die with my boots on. And he gets up, he puts on his boots, he gets on his old horse. He's like, oh, the heck with it. And he goes riding right in the middle of the battle. Doesn't even have a gun. He just opens up his arms and he rides through. And all the guys are like, what is that crazy guy doing? And as they're watching him ride across the field, his team just opened up on the other guys and just laid waste to the other team, other army or whatever. And they're like, the commander calls him in. They go, hey, John Dunbar, I cannot condone your reckless ways, but you're a hero. So you can go anywhere you like in North America as your post. And he goes, I always wanted to go out west to see the Wild West before, the railroads get built and they build a bunch of Walmarts and whatnot. I want to go way out west and see where the buffalo roam, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, And they go, okay, great. Well, tell you what, we're going to send you out to a post way out on the plains. Nothing but buffalo and Dakota people. And we promise we're not just going to dump you off and forget about you. So they send him out, and they dump him off, and then they forget about him. And he's out there, he's a one-man post in the middle of the prairie, and it doesn't seem like there's anyone there. He's just him and his horse. After a while, a wolf comes by, and he's doing his little army stuff. He's keeping a journal. He's trying to, he's not sure, but he's like, whatever. Well, the weeks go by. Nobody comes. He's getting lonely, He starts feeding this wolf. And then one day, a bunch of Metawakan Dakota Oyate, a bunch of Sioux people come crawling up. They're like, hey, look at that white guy down there. He's feeding that wolf. And then pretty soon that wolf starts to dance with him. Goes, oh, wow, look at that. They're doing the Charleston. How come that wolf and that white man are doing the Charleston? Let's call him Dances with Wolves. Nah. And they go, hey, you know what? Let's come back later and we'll steal that guy's horse. So later that night, John Dunbar goes to sleep. He sort of practices a few dance moves he's going to try out on a wolf tomorrow. But then he goes to sleep. And those boys, they come back to steal his horse. And they take that horse and they start riding away. And he gets up and he runs out and goes, hey, you rotten kids, bring back my horse. And that horse, what's he do? he just stops and he pulls the kids off and he runs back to his friend, John Dunbar. And they're like, oh, that's a smart horse. And they run off, Well, John Dunbar says, you know what, this is no good. I'm going to go into the Indian camp. I'm going to go talk to those boys' dads and say, hey, your boys tried to steal my horse. That's not good. And so he puts on his Sunday best or whatever, his dress blues, puts on his big old chimokuman, his big old long knife, and he rides into the Dakota camp. But before he gets there, he looks and he sees, oh wow, there's a girl. She's she's sitting down by a tree, and she's covered in blood. And he goes, oh no, what happened? And he jumps off the horse and he goes, and she looks up, she's like, ugh, and she just passes out. And old John Dunbar, he goes, oh great, I haven't seen a woman in a year and a half. And now, the first one I see, nothing but drama. So he picks her up, somehow gets her on a horse, and rides in. And just as he's riding in there, they look up and they're like, oh, look at that white guy from the camp, from the army post. And, well, he's got a girl. Hey, isn't that your cousin? And they ride up there, hey, give us back our cousin. What'd you do? She's all covered in blood. He said, look, man, I saved her life. And by the way, like, you get out of here. Man, I don't know what you did to my cousin, but once you get out of here, we don't like your kind. We don't like your skin color, white man. He said, come on, I just want to help. And by the way, tell your boys to quit stealing my horse. Like, go on now, get out of here. So he goes back, just all dejected. Oh, gee, if that girl wasn't trying to kill herself, she'd be pretty cute, too. Well, eventually, somebody named Wind in His Hair, Medicine Man, and another guy named Kicking Bird. No, Kicking Bird was a medicine man. He was the holy man. Holy man, there's Kicking Bird. Kicking Bird and Wind in His Hair and some other dude, they all come riding up to visit John Dunbar. And John Dunbar comes out and is like, oh, geez, what do you guys want? And they're like, hey, man, sorry about our boys trying to steal your horse. That wasn't cool. But they couldn't speak English. They just had to sit down, and John Dunbar said, here, come here. Go to sit. And they go, look, we got some blankets here. And they gave him some buffalo robes, some big old buffalo. And he's like, geez, thanks. You want a cup of coffee? And they're like, huh? What's this crazy language? And he offers them coffee. I'm like, oh, wow, this is really good. This is really good medicine water. It's all black and medicine-y. And he goes, oh, that's nothing. Try it with sugar. And he gives them some sugar. And now they're really happy. They're like, oh, this is really good drink. What do you call it? He goes, that's coffee. He goes, oh, we're going to call it black medicine water. It's so good and black. Makere mash kiki wabu. And that was the day that the American Indians were introduced to coffee and sugar. Later on, we would incorporate the coffee and the sugar into our cultural ways. Many people would start their day with coffee and sugar. And so Kicking Bird, he stands up and he goes, you listen to me and you listen good. From this day forward, if anybody ever wants to say a bad thing about the white people, you remind them. John Dunbar here, he's our brother. He brought us coffee and sugar. And this is how the relationship started between the Chimokuman and the Anishinaabe. And so, they start hanging around. John Dunbar shaves his mustache. He starts to grow his hair out. They start to teach him the ways of the true human being. They're like, hey, man, we're great hunters. Why don't you come out buffalo hunting with us? And he's like, that looks pretty dangerous. How about I grab some guns here for all of us? And he starts to arm all these, they're like, man, this is great. Well, a bunch of stuff happens. John Dunbar ends up helping them kill a bunch of other Indians, the peyotes, the Paiutes or whoever they were. And, there's a famous scene where he saves the life of Little Smiles a Lot or whatever, some little Indian boy who happens to be the chief's grandson or something. And old, what's his name? 10 Bears?
You mean Floyd Red Crow Westerman?
Yeah, Floyd Red Crow Westerman. That's your grandma's cousin, huh?
Yeah, he was.
He plays 10 Bears, the old chief. And so he's finally in there, He calls John Dunbar into his teepee. And John Dunbar's in there. Oh, this old 10 Bears. There's nothing better than sharing a smoke in a teepee with a little fire here with an elder. And he goes, John Dunbar, you saved my grandson's life. You have become one of us. You have learned to live at the ways of the true human being. You have turned your ways on the military industrial complex or whatever. And this is why the people, they've started to call you Dances with Wolves. And he goes, Dances what now? Dances with Wolves. And John Dunbar's all, because I used to dance with that wolf. They must have saw me dancing the night away with my ink gun. And so, as it goes, the story goes, we got to keep moving. There are more white people than there are stars in the sky. And so he and, what's her name? Stands with a fist. Stands with a fist. They pack up their camp and they head north. And, he just learns to live the way of the Anishinaabe as Dances with Wolves. And this is the story of how John Dunbar got his Indian name, : quote, Dances with Wolves. That's a great story, sweetie. And there you go. Dancing. I should be dancing. I should be dancing. I should be dancing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Give a little, take a little, give a little back. Got time, got gooses, got a lad in my hand, Charlie on my back. John, I'm only dancing. She turns me on. John Dunbar Dancing with Wolves is a cool movie. Check it out if you're a little guy, haven't seen it before. It became so cool to just kind of talk down about Dances with Wolves. Oh, once again, a white man's perspective. I'm so sick of watching movies about Indians from the white man's perspective. Like, shut up. These guys are actually speaking Dakota. It's a gorgeous movie. Name any other movie that has a buffalo hunting scene. I don't care what you guys say. I love Dances with Wolves. And I think Brandy Marie would agree with me. Hi, Brandy. Oh, sorry to hear that. Heartfelt hugs your way. Thanks. I mean, that's a weird thing when somebody dies that you haven't seen in a long time. It's like, well, I don't deserve people saying stuff. Oh, sorry for your loss. It's like, yeah. I haven't seen them in so long. SM, good morning. Good morning, SM. And good morning, Flatfoot Clan. SM already has a jib name. A jib name. An Ojibwe name. SM got it when I was 9 from Grandma on the res. There you go. Hey, Grandma gives her a name when she's only 9. La 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 la. This is awesome stuff, says Lou Page. Bonjour, Lou. Welcome to the show. Somebody named Lou just stopped by.
Okay, hey, BOOZHOO.
BOOZHOO.
Let no one say a bad word about Lou. He's our Nietzsche.
Idios is here. BOOZHOO, Idios. I wish Stance with a Fist would have fixed her hair. My daughter, when she was little, hated me to comb her hair. I would call her Stance with a Fist. Isn't that great? Everyone knows what you're talking about. That old mangy mane of hair Stance with a Fist had. She had too much curl in her hair to live like the Dakota. Monkey see, monkey doo-doo. I see you during ceremony. Did you see me during a ceremony, SM? Hoka hey. La la la. Idiot says, I wonder if it was Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons. Stands with a fist. Isn't she great? She couldn't remember how to speak English. She was all like, oh, what's your name? My name is Stands? Yeah, Stands with the fist? Yes, Stands with the fist. Kicking bird. I had this friend. Excuse me. I had this friend who'd come up behind me. She'd be all like, John Dunbar. Why you want make war with Pawnee? They have done nothing to you. he could do like a Stands with a fist impersonation. Kicking bird. He a holy man. Holy man, that kicking bird is just holy. No. Will I ever see you again? No, what do you think, sweetie? You want to get up on your own show? I could. All right. Well, everybody, I want to say miigwech Pisadawiyek. Thank you for listening to my story. My Dabaji Moen. My Adazuke Winini. And I'm going to invite NANABOOZHOO up on the show. But first, we're going to watch a song called Will I Ever See You Again? You know, kind of about all of our friends that
Hey, BOOZHOO. Welcome back to the show. My name is Mukwa Nindija. And we're going to do a little song for you right about now. The song is called Will I Ever See You Again? All right, you all ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready, NANABOOZHOO?
Oh, yeah, whenever you are.
All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go.
you pulled me close and you drank it in. I remember your ways, and you and me in a sad embrace. But I remember a place where you pulled me close and you kissed my face. Will I ever see you again? No, I don't think I'll ever see you again. Will I ever see you again? No, I don't think I'll ever see you again. Way back when, but I don't know how, you sacrificed my sacred cow. That was then, this is now. If life's a stage, then take a bow. Will I ever see you again? No, I don't think I'll ever see you again. Will I ever see you again? No, I don't think I'll ever see you again.
Okay.
All right, that was real good, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Mukwa, and I will see you again. Gigawaba men, Menawa, Hawa.
How come you sound so much like George Bush?
I know old George Bush and I, we got the same kind of southern drawl. I might have come from my time down in, Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the drums, Makwa. Ikadon BOOZHOO, Makwa.
Hey, BOOZHOO, everybody. Did you like that song? Will I ever see you again?
Yep. Will I ever see you again? No, I don't think I'll ever see you again. It's depressing when you think about the people you probably won't ever see again. If you really think about it. I mean, of course, all the people who died, you realize, oh, I'm never going to see that person again. Well, no, that's not true, huh?
Well, in heaven you'll see him.
Yeah, you hope. Most of my friends were, I remember the song that we used to play. Terry was part of the crew, our Little League group. We'd play Little League, we'd practice Little League in the morning, and then we'd all ride our bikes downtown and go to the cafe and shoot pool. And we put on a jukebox. We ain't too pretty, we ain't too proud. We might be laughing a bit too loud. Oh, but that never hurt no one. Only the good die young. Of course, we're getting too old to having died young. That's a problem when you get over 50. You know. Like I remember heard this guy once say, oh, when I was in my 20s, I'd hear somebody died when they were 50. And I'd be like, yeah, well, he had a good long life. Don't even ask what happened. You go, oh, yeah, well, he was 50. Now that I'm in my 50s, somebody dies when they're 90. I'm like, what happened? Was it a murder? Let's get to the bottom of this. Who killed my great aunt? So, well, it might have just been her time. But, yeah. That's dangerous ground. That's a dangerous game we play when we start a show denouncing the death of a childhood friend. Yeah. I hope I didn't bum out everybody. Nah. I mean, let's face it. These people, they show up every day. They're kind of like friends now. I know. As weird as that may seem, this is our coffee clutch. This is our crew, the BOOZHOO crew, and and even Lou Page from the mean dirt roads of Besida. Oh wow, we got a Besida boy with us, sweetie. Really? Yep, I know Besida. I was sitting beside of the road for 2 hours waiting for someone to come pick me up. Adias Calvin says, Jessica Wabooz, you so crazy girl. Yeah, tell us about it. She's so crazy. Yeah. Coffee clutching says SM. Says S&M. We're here for you, NanaBOOZHOO. Hey, I'm here for you. What do you need? You want someone to come over and mow your lawn? Well, Natasha here, she'll come right over. Won't you, honey? What? These people need their lawn mowed. What do you do you want them to not be able to walk around? You know how many mosquitoes they can get if they don't mow their lawns? Well, yeah, but you don't have to, just volunteer me. I thought who's gonna mow our lawn? I don't know. I was kind of hoping one of those guys would come over here. What, you want Natasha to be doing all your work for you? Oh, yeah, there's feminism in action. Why don't you leave my girlfriend alone? Sweetie, what are you doing? I don't know. I feel like fighting with my crew. Oh, you guys think you're so big. You think you can just tell Natasha what to do and she'll do it because she's traditional? Oh, yeah, you just throw that in her face. Oh, so you're not a feminist, huh? Well, why don't you make me a sandwich? I've had it with these people. Do they want a sandwich? Yeah. Will you make them a sandwich when you're making me one too, sweetie? Sure. What kind of sandwich you want? No, I'm just making a joke. You don't have to make me a sandwich. Oh, but I will. Everybody should have a woman like Natasha. Somebody who just makes him a sandwich, doesn't make a big deal out of it. No, she's not my slave. She's traditional, huh, sweetie? I'm traditional. I make sandwiches. Yeah. So there you go. Where's your pride march? Being a homemaker. I want a pride march like the gays. Yeah. I think a pride march should be for women who work in the home. Mothers and homemakers and wives or whatever we don't have a good word for the person who feeds, clothes, loves you. The person who does the dishes every day and the laundry and washes the floors on Saturday. That's where your pride should be. Look at how clean my house is. Look at how well fed my kids are. Pride. Homemaker pride. There you go. Homemaker. We got to bring back the word homemaker. Oh, what are you, a housewife? No. She makes homes. All right. There's a scene in Where the Spirit Lives. I was like, a little girl, she goes to boarding school. And the white family wants to adopt her out, and they're like, hey, why don't you come live with us? We're rich white people. We can send you to college. You can be anything you want, like a teacher or a doctor or a teacher, doctor, a nurse, a cook, whatever you want. And she goes, well, when I grow up, I want to be a wife and a mother. And she goes, no, why would you only want to, don't limit yourself. You can do anything you want. You can be a teacher, a doctor, a cook. She goes, well, imagine when I'm a wife and mother, I'll be all those things. It's like, yeah, exactly. You'll be an artist. You'll be a gardener. You'll be an electrician and a plumber and a nurse and a chef and a painter and everything. And a counselor. And, the homemaker. And sorry, but just by having a baby doesn't make you a homemaker. You have to be making the home. You can't just squirt out a baby and then, just write a check for the daycare and go, oh yeah, I'm Mother of the Year. The Mother of the Year is the one who's mothering all year long. Sorry. That's what's happened, I think. What's that? I think in the effort to spare the feelings of the working mother, they didn't want to give too many compliments to the mothers who stayed at home. They would say, oh no, working mothers are just as good as stay-at-home moms. Same. Really? Because one is there for 8 hours and one isn't. I think the one who's there all day long is putting in more hours. Okay. Yeah, maybe you're an amazing lawyer and mother. But most of us can only do one thing great at a time. So I got a lot of opinions about this because I'm neither a professional or a mother. I don't have any kids. Okay, hey, la la la, hey, okay. So whatever happened to what's his name, Kevin Costner? Well, he went on to be in Waterworld, and he was Superman's dad. Oh yeah, that was weird. Kevin Costner grows up and becomes Superman's dad. And then dies in a tornado or something. It's like, no, son, don't save my life. I don't want anyone to know you're Superman. Like, what? So he just dies. Wasn't he the bodyguard for Whitney Houston? Yep, he was in The Bodyguard. Yeah, well done, Kevin Costner. You didn't guard Whitney's body very well. She ended up dead in a bathtub from the cocaine. Idiot says, the nuclear family worked. Agree, that's why things are so messed up. Yeah, I know. We made it so uncool to just be a regular old married family with 2.3 kids. Oh, there's a mom and a dad, and the dad goes to work, and the mom stays at home and does the laundry. Oh, well, that's a joke. That's stupid. That's not Modern Family. Nobody ever had a family like that. Well, some did. You know who I blame for the downfall of the family? Who's that? Andy of Mayberry. What? Why would you do that? I mean, wasn't that the last of the good old days, the Mayberry? Yeah, but think about it. He was a single dad. I was dating around, had guns in the houses. Old Aunt B. He normalized that sort of alternative lifestyle. Andy of Mayberry trying to raise that boy on his own. Not even doing it himself. Oh, he just, hey, Aunt B, why don't you move in and cook for me? And raise little Opie, Hey, sweetie, Lavano Vantage wants to hear from us. Please take us a minute to tell us about your experience with Lenovo Vantage. I don't even know what that is. Well, my experience is you guys keep on having these pop-ups during my show. And it's distracting me. Is it? Yep. So, Andy of Mayberry, you began the downfall of the Western civilization with your normalizing of your modern family. You should have remarried right away. You should have married Aunt May.
What? She can't marry his own. Anyway, her name wasn't Aunt May.
Yeah, I think everyone's aunt is an Aunt May because of not Peter Pan, Peter Parker. What was her name?
I think it was Aunt B.
Yeah. Was that Andy's aunt, I suppose?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't marry his own auntie.
No.
And she wasn't much to look at.
No. I guess in real life they hated each other.
What? Andy Griffith and Aunt B didn't like each other in real life?
No, they had all kinds of behind the scenes problems.
That's weird. How could you not like Andy Griffith? I could see why he wouldn't like her. She seemed kind of like the mom in the Pink Floyd videos.
He'd be like, Mother, should I drop the bomb?
Yeah. Mother, do you think they'll like the song? Anyway. I was away from the screen. Did you see the message on the soon-to-be updated tech drawing? Yeah, I did, Daniel. That'll be cool. Daniel, his little boy, is going to do another painting of us. He's going to get you in on it. That'll be cool. We'll put that up on the show. I love it when people do art of us. Jessica says, I don't think he did. Yeah, I didn't mention anything. Sorry. I got distracted. Thinking about Andy of Mayberry. And old Barney. Grandma and I love that show so much, we just call it the Barney Fife Show. She'd be like, hey, hurry up, Barney's about to be on. Bring me a cup of coffee and a piece of toast. I'm going to watch Barney have some coffee and toast. You know, that's what those certain channels on, you know, when you get cable or whatever. Do they even still have cable?
I don't know, probably not.
Back in the, early 2000s, some people still had cable TV. And you get like 30 channels, and one would be HBO. There'd be a bunch of these weird channels with like Shopping Network, a Christian television network that never has anything good on it. And then like the rerun channel. Like, okay, well here's some TV shows that were popular when your grandparents were young. And you go, why do these channels exist? Is it free now to just play the Andy Griffith Show on TV? It's like, yeah, maybe. And it gives you something you can do with your grandma in the middle of the day on a Thursday. These old TV shows you can watch with your elders. Elders will watch reruns of like baseball games from the 70s. Like, hey, remember this? The World Series from 1978? You want to watch it again? Elders have really low standards of entertainment. They're like, yeah, sure. Let's watch this. Why not, I say? Oh, yeah. Will I ever see you again? No, I. So, yeah, another one of the boys of summer started his journey. And, I'm right at that age group where there's still a lot of people from my high school who never quite got online. He doesn't have much of a footprint. Like, he never had a Facebook page. I don't think he played along with any of that. His parents had already passed away. There's no one for me to call. His little brother, I wonder what Chris is doing.
I know, I don't even know where he lives anymore.
Lou Page says, my wife just gave birth and discovered this channel, and we have decided to make it a part of our morning routine. 11 days old and our first show. Oh, wow, Lou, that's great. Sweetie, Lou's wife just gave birth to a baby, and they're going to start having their kid watch us. All right. Well, starting tomorrow, we're going to totally change the show to just be geared towards Lou's little Little boy or little girl? I feel like Lou had a little girl. I don't know. And Lou's wife. We got to make this show more interesting for little kids. All right, let's do this real quick, and then we'll call this show. What's that? Sweetie, will you mind teleporting me outside? Kids, if you're little, you might not know this. Back in the days of the grandfathers, there was a TV show called Star Trek. It was all about these guys who would fly in a spaceship all around space. And it became easier to just teleport down to the surface of a planet than it did to like land a spaceship. But after a few years, that show went off the air, and we bought one of their teleporters. So I'm going to go outside and just offer a little tobacco. And I'm going to ask Natasha here if she'll teleport me. Sweetie, you want to teleport me? Sure. All right. One teleport outside, sweetie. One to teleport. Hey, don't move. Hello? Hi, sweetie. Can you hear me? I can hear you just fine. It's like you're right in the next room. I made it to the woods okay. Oh, good. I'm always worried that I might accidentally, teleport you into the lake or something. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny, huh? All right. Well, just call me up when you want me to teleport you back. All right. So, I got a little bit of tobacco here. And, let me see. Which way is east? I guess east would be this way. Otapanaman niwi asema manadugo wede wabano. And let me south back there. Otapanaman niwi asema manadugo wede jawano. I'm gonna go this way. Otapanaman niwi asema manadugo wede. Then gabianan. I'm gonna go this way. Otapanaman niwi asema manadugo wede. Giwaden ano. Udapnaman niwi asema mama aki. Udapnaman niwi asema gichimanadu. Gichimanadu. Nanaboozhoo Nanabooozhoo. Great spirits, me, Nanaboozhoo. And, I don't know. I just put a little tobacco in honor of the memory of my friend Terry. I don't understand almost anything. So I'm not going to ask you, please accept his spirit into heaven. I don't know. Who am I to tell you what to do? And, I don't understand anything. But I like to believe that we have souls, and that our souls go to the spirit world. And I hope that one day my soul will go to the spirit world too. And maybe I'll see my old friend when I get up there. I don't even know if I should pray for those who are grieving for him right now. His daughter, who I never knew. Who I met once, I guess. But she was just a little girl. Like a little baby, like 3 years old. I heard he had a fiancée a few years ago. He might have even gotten married. And by this time, I wouldn't have even been invited. Because we hadn't seen each other in so long. But I never forgot him. Any more than you could forget like a family member. Or your childhood friends. So, today, Terry and the rest of the old boys of summer who've already made their journey. I don't know. You guys are on my mind. In my heart. Bloop. Yeah, sweetie. I guess I'm ready to come back. Okay, hang on. Miigwech, ape and gay. Thank you. Amen. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Okay, it's kind of cool to use the teleporter. That's probably entertaining for a little baby. But, I don't know, I think praying to God and talking about death probably is a little, it's probably a little bit on the adult side. Yeah. So, I don't know. We got to figure out a way to do both. I don't want to forget about the little kids. I want to remember that there's little children who watch us. We need to get more of Makwa and maybe Anamosh and this little guy back here. We need more guest appearances. Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, you want to wrap it up? Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff we need to do today. We still haven't done our radio spot yet. All right. Well, hey, you guys. I want to say miigwech, Bizin Dawiag. Thank you for listening. I mean, really, thank you for listening. I didn't know if I didn't even know if I wanted to talk about this morning, or if I'd even do a show. But I do appreciate that you would listen. Not that you had any choice, but well, yeah, of course you did. It could have turned over to the Joe Rogan experience. But all right, so miigwech kanawabiyeg. Thank you for watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO. This is Natasha. BOOZHOO. This is Michael Lyons. Hello. And I will see you again.
Want to take off? Yeah, let's get out of here. All right. Yeah, I'll see you later.
Gigawabamin. Manawa. Hawa.